Welcome to you all in Monastic Online Classes. It's me, Ashok, and I'm going to talk to you people today about narration part 6. So, we are going to talk about narration, and in narration, we are talking about part 6. In part 6, we are right now in the special rules, that is the in the special rule number 2, which is known as change of interrogative sentence. So this is the topic that I am going to talk to you people. I want to link this up with the previous parts where we have already talked about introduction, about acid kinds, about the ways through which we can change narration, and where we have also talked about the general rules. In general rules, we talked about change of person, change of tense, change of adverbs, change of punctuation marks. And then after we have started talking about special rules, in the special rules I have already given you the ideas that while changing the direct speech into the indirect speech, we can find that there is an assertive sentence, there can be an interrogative or imperative or exclamatory kinds of sentences mentioned there in the reported clause of DS. And according to the kinds of sentences, we have to apply the certain rules to get them changed into the ideas. And in that, we have got here the part 6, that is change of interrogative sentence. So, therefore, going to make you understand about the rules through which we can become able to change the interrogative sentence mentioned in the reported clause of DS into the ideas, I want to give you certain ideas over the interrogative sentence, so that my intention is to make you understand about interrogative sentence clearly. Once you become able to recognize the interrogative sentence, then after you can easily change the direct speech into the indirect speech. It is therefore, it has become important to make you understand about the interrogative sentence. So now, my concern goes to the ideas over the interrogative sentence so that you can understand it well. So this is interrogative sentence. Very first, we can talk about what is this interrogative sentence. So we can find that a sentence which asks a question it is called an interrogative sentence. It's a very simple definition of this interrogative sentence. You can simply understand that the sentence which asks a question, that is known as an interrogative sentence. For example, you can find here like, are you straight? It's an interrogative sentence because this sentence has raised a question. So it's an interrogative sentence. Number 2 is, what is your name? It's also an interrogative sentence. And from there, what you can understand that an interrogative sentence always ends with the sign of interrogation is the first feature about the interrogative sentence, that an interrogative sentence always ends with the sign of interrogation. Another feature of this interrogative sentence is that, you can watch here, the auxiliary verb is always placed before the subject. Auxiliary verb in an interrogative sentence is always placed before the subject. So this is also another feature. We can see that the auxiliary verb is always placed before the subject the auxiliary verb is always placed before the subject in an interrogative sentence. Another point we can understand that interrogative sentence, it starts either with an auxiliary verb or it starts with a WS form. So when we find that it starts with an auxiliary verb, it becomes an S-no question. It becomes an S-no question. When we find that it starts with a WS word, then it becomes a WS question. So what we can find that there are two kinds of interrogative sentence, and they are, very first, they are yes no question. Number two, WH question. So these all ideas are about the interrogative sentence. We are right now in a special rule for changing the PS into the IDS, and for that we are talking about rule number 2, change of interrogative sentence. And here we have got the interrogative sentence first. I want to make you understand about the interrogative sentence. What do we mean by this term interrogative sentence? For this I have written here. It is simply, we can understand about interrogative sentence is that it asks a question. For example, are you a student? What is your name? And the very first feature of an interrogative sentence is that it always ends with the sign of interrogation. You can see here, these are the sign of interrogations. And in an interrogative sentence, we can find that there are the uses of sign of interrogation at the last of the sentence. Be careful about one more point, that we can find the use of sign of interrogation in the tag question also, but the tag question cannot be called as an interrogative sentence. Tag question is simply, it is the statement which has got a short question added at the last to get confirmation from the audience, from the listeners. So a tag question is not understood as an interrogative sentence. So you must be clear about the tag question, because I am talking about the mark of interrogation used at the last of each sentence is known as an interrogative sentence. But tag question has a sign of interrogation used at the last, but it is not an interrogative sentence. It is simply a statement which has got a short question added at the last to get confirmation from the audience, from the listener. So don't call the tag question as an interrogative sentence. Another feature of the interrogative sentence is that we can find the use of auxiliary verb is always before the subject. Then after, next we have got that we can find even a question is started from an auxiliary verb or from WS word also. So if it starts with an auxiliary verb, it becomes an SO question. If it starts with the WS word, it becomes a WS questions. In this way, we can find that an interrogative sentence is of two kinds. They are SO question and WS question. So up to here, I have tried to make you understand about the kinds of interrogative sentence here, and now I'm going to make you clear concept about WS question and yes no questions. So now my concern goes to make you understand about yes no question and WS question. And now we are going to talk about the very first kind of interrogative sentence, that is yes no question. What is this yes no question? Let's talk about this. This is the interrogative sentence which the interrogative sentence which starts with the auxiliary verb, which starts with the auxiliary verb it is known as yes no question. I want to give you example. For example, are you a student? Do you like tea? Have you done your homework? You can see these all questions, these all interrogative sentences are starting with yes no question. These all are starting with the auxiliary verbs. And these all are starting with the auxiliary verbs, and they have been ended with the sign of interrogation. This type of questions are known as yes no questions. So these all are kinds of yes no question. So this type of questions they are known as yes no question, and we can find that the answer of yes no, the answer of a yes no question is always expected to be either yes or no. So if we raise the yes no question at the moment, there is an expectation that we can find the answer of yes no question should come either in yes or no form. For example, if the question is there, are you a student? So if you are a student, you can say yes. If you say no, I'm not. If you are not a student, then you can say no. So we can find the two basic features of yes no question. Very first, it starts with auxiliary verb ends with sign of interrogation, and second one is that we can get the answer of a yes no question either in yes or no form. So this is the way you can recognize, you can understand, you can form, you can use yes no questions in your own. Now, my top rules to concentrate on the second point about the WS question. WH question means here the interrogative sentence which the interrogative sentence which starts with the WH words like what, when, where, which, why, how, who, whom, and whose. It is called WH. It is called a WH question. So whenever we find that any question starts with the WH words like what, when. For example, I want to give you examples of this WH question like what do you do in this lockdown period? What do you do in this lockdown period? It's a question. You can find that sign of interrogation is at the last, as well as before the subject, and it has been started with the WH word what. You can find another example is that when does she get up? When does she get up? Even you can find sign of interrogation, auxiliary verb, but this question starts with the WH word when. So you can make the examples of your own regarding these all WH words like what, when, where, which, why, how, who, whom, and whose. So these are the WH words which are used mainly to ask questions, and when you find this type of questions are raised by using the WH words like result, so they are understood as the WH questions. So class, what I have made you understood up to here that about the interrogative sentence, what do we, which sentence is known as interrogative sentence, how do we recognize them, and where we have talked about that the statement or the question or the sentence which raises a question that is known as an interrogative sentence, and interrogative sentence always ends with sign of interrogation. The placement of that verb is always before the subject. In this way, we can find that interrogative sentence is of two kinds: yes no question and WH question. These are the kinds of interrogative sentence. If you talk about the yes no question, the yes no question always starts with the auxiliary verb and it ends with the sign of interrogation. And you can find that the expectation of the yes no question is either yes or no. If you talk about WH question, then the WH question always starts with the WH words like what, when, where, which, why, how, who, whom, and which, and it also gives sign of interrogation at the last. So this is all about understanding of an interrogative sentence. Now, I'm going to make you understand the ways through which you can become able to change the interrogative sentence mentioned in the recorded clause of DS into the IGS. So up to here, you have understood about an interrogative sentence. Now, let's talk about if there is an interrogative sentence mentioned in the recorded clause of DS, then how can we change it into the IGS? And now we are going to talk if there is an interrogative sentence mentioned in the reported clause of DS, then how we can change them into the IDS. So here it goes. If there is an interrogative sentence mentioned in the reported clause of DS, we can change it into the IDS by applying the following steps. To make you understand it clearly, I want to give you an example first. This is example, and if DS stands for diagnosis, if the DS is he said to me are you a student? Its IDS should be changed. My second example is about the DS. Sita will say to Ram, what is your name? So, I want to make you understand here first. So, this is an example of DS. You can find that in the DS there are two clauses: reporting clause, reported clause. This one is the reporting clause. This one is the reported clause. And my concern is to make you understand that as you are going to change the DS into the IDS, the very first you have to do is to look over the reported clause. Look over the reported clause. Very first thing, before going to change the DS into the IDS, you should look over the reported clause and try to recognize the kinds of sentence or which kinds of sentence is there. If there is an assertive sentence, apply the rule of changing assertive sentence. If there is an interrogative sentence, apply the rule of changing interrogative sentence. In the case of an imperative, apply the rule of imperative sentence. In the case of exclamatory, apply the rule of changing exclamatory sentence. We have found that in the reported clause of this direct space, these are the interrogative sentences. As they are the interrogative sentence, so we need to apply the rules for changing the interrogative sentence into the IDS. And for that, very first, what you have to do is you have to change the reporting verb. So we can change the reporting verb in the case of interrogative sentence as ask not verb. So when we find out there is interrogative sentence, then we should change the reporting verb as ask not verb. So very first is the reporting verb should be changed into the ask buffer. So there is interrogative sentence, reporting verb is say, it is past. That's why, as you have to bring here ask verb form, here should be asked me. You can see the reporting verb inside the reported clause is an interrogative sentence. The reporting verb will say to is in future. So we need to write here Sita will ask Rama. So according to the tense of the reporting verb, you should change the reporting verb into the asked verb when you find that there is an interrogative sentence mentioned in the reporting clause of TS. So first attack upon the reporting clause, it should be changed into the asked verb. But must follow the verb of reporting clause constituents. Now, we have to link up the reporting clause with the reported clause. So here I want to tell you. When you find that the interrogative sentence is in yes no question, if it is in yes no question, we should use there the conjunction if or whether. If it is in WH question form, we should not use any kind of conjunction to join the reporting clause with the reporting clause. So we can get the idea here. In the case of yes no question, we should use the conjunctions. We should use the conjunction. We should use the conjunction if or whether. We should use the conjunction if or whether to join the reporting clause with the we should use the conjunction if or whether to join the reporting clause with the reported clause. So here you can find this no question. We should use the conjunction either if or whether. Don't use both. You can choose one. To make you understand, I have used here both, but I have given this class. You have to choose one, either if or whether. So you can use if or whether one in the condition if you find that there is a yes no question in the reported clause of yes. But when you find that there is a WH question, we should not mention any conjunction to join the reporting clause with the reporting clause. In the case of WH question, we should not use any conjunctions to join the reporting clause with the reported clause. Here you can find WH question. We should not use any conjunction. We should simply start with what. Now, the most important part here you can find. You have to change the interrogative sentence into the assertive sentence. So you can write here the interrogative sentence. The interrogative sentence should be changed into the interrogative sentence should be changed into the assertive sentence. So here you can find, are you a student? It is an interrogative sentence. you can change it into the assertive sentence. And I have already given this idea in my previous class how we can change the interrogative into the assertive sentence. This is an interrogative sentence, you need to change it to assertive sentence. So, are you a student? Just change the placement of the as verb as it is before the subject, change it after the subject. And it becomes you are a student. If you play my previous video, there you can find this is all I taught you. How you can change the interrogative into the assertive sentence. Like it is, what is your name? You can change as what your name is. I have already given these ideas before. So the 4 number rule is telling you the interrogative sentence should be changed into the assertive sentence. You have changed it. After changing this, you can now apply all the general rules. Apply all the general rules. General rules means here you have already got about general rules in the previous videos where you have found that general rules means here change of person, change of place, change of tense, change of adverbials, and change of punctuation marks. So you need to apply all the general rules here. And according to that, as you have done this one is the assertive sentence. You be second person, it should be changed according to me. Bring here me, you be subjective case, me subjective case is I. You can see is the past tense, so you can change the tense of the important class. And you are, it is simple present, it should be changed to simple past. With I, there should be was. There should be was. That's right. It's a very big change. Here you can find what, and then the assertive sentence is your name. So this your is P2, so P1, second person should be changed according to Ram. Ram P1 is his. Then name, according to the change of tense rule, we'll say the reporting verb is in future tense, so there should be no change of tense. And it becomes what his name is. Is the way if you can change the interrogative sentence. If you find that there is an interrogative sentence mentioned in the reporting clause of yes, then you can change it into the IDS in this way. So class, follow all these instructions, and then after you can become able to change the interrogative sentence into the IDS. Once again, for the soft form, very first, change the reporting verb into the ask verb form. Second, use the if or whether conjunction if you find that the interrogative sentence is in the yes no question form. If it is in WS question form, don't use any conjunction. Change the interrogative sentence into the assertive by yourself. Don't write clearly in your column. You can do it by yourself. Change it into the assertive sentence and apply all the rules. In this way, you can become able to change the interrogative sentence mentioned in the reported clause of DS into the IDS. And I believe you have understood it and you have applied these all while you are changing it into the while you are changing the interrogative sentence into the IDS form. And with this belief, I think I hope that you have understood this video. And I want to tell you that I want to request you as well. Please go through sort of questions of any book regarding narration of interrogative sentence and try to solve them. If you have any problems solving them, do not forget to give your questions in the comment box of our link. We'll try our best to make you understand from there as well. Thank you very much.